now we will have on stage Nouamane Cherkaoui, who will join us and who will talk about like platformization as a model for transforming and opening up information systems. He's the head of core banking B2C at Caisse d'Epargne, and I'm really glad to have him on stage. Hello, Nouamane.
Hello, Mehdi. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Glad to have you again at Apidays with
Thank you very
a
much.
new hat, but still with the same big idea.
Yes, always. Thank you very much. I can. I don't know if you want to say the beginning of the slides. It's okay.
Yeah, we see it's full screen. It's perfect. The stage is yours
It's
for 2 minutes.
Perfect. Thank you very much. It's a great pleasure for me to be here today and to be this for the third invitation, Mehdi. Thank you very much. And good morning, everyone. And many thanks for your presence and for joining this keynote. Last year, as he said, Mehdi, I talked about alliances and competing in new age of era of open banking, open platform. And now I want to share with you my conviction about platforms more globally with another stage of the open economy evolution. For many years, we are witnessing the emergence of new business models like big tech, and we are transforming many industries and play by totally new rules to big tech in the West, GAFA, NATO, and the East with BATX, Beidou, and Alibaba, etc. They are changing landscape with AI, machine learning, blockchain, and are driving drastically a new business model. All of these things requires drastic rethinking of B2B and B2C relationship around what we call the platforms. The platform economy is a real current and also a future trend. It presents both challenges and opportunities for enterprises, industry, markets, organization, but also for the society, customers, our daily lives and regulations. It's a new digital revolution driven by a lot of things, but we can see, for example, this technological innovation is not only the same thing that before and yesterday. Online connectivity, data platforms, hybrid players between companies and markets. The success of the platforms now seems exponential, and the growth is limited. Facebook connects billions of individuals among themselves on a daily basis. There are pulls large global market capitalization. Apple, Google, Microsoft, and 7 of 10 most important startups are platform now. From companies like Amazon, Uber, Airbnb, or Booking.com, they are disrupting the functioning of entire sector like retail, urban mobility, hotels, restaurants, and compete or even outgrow historical leaders formerly were established. In the picture that you see, Sanget Choudhury defined platform as a business model that allows multiple sides, producer and consumer, to interact by providing an infrastructure. They connect them. Understanding really what the attributes of a platform are certainly key, but they will certainly continue to evolve in the coming years. The platform attributes are dynamics, and what is important to understand is how platforms are transforming market and societal frame. What are the type of player? What are the market driver? And how are platforms evolving eventually? There are some key questions. We are now, and you know it like me, in a world more and more connected. Data is going to increase the importance of a platform business model. Every company needs to have a strategy for the platform economy. Every company might not choose to be a platform, but every company will need to evaluate its participation in the other platform ecosystems. It depending on how we target the primary and secondary demands. And let's take just one example to understand the differences between primary demand and secondary demand. The purchase of a home, for example, we can say that it is user primary demand. The purchase will create a secondary demand, for example, in which is a demand for mortgage, for example, to finance this purchase. Users are instead in satisfying their primary demand, and the secondary demand arises out of the need to satisfy the primary one. Companies that understand the user's primary demand will be better placed to recommend related banking products that arise as a secondary demand. And globally, platforms are not focused on working without physical assets. This is a common misconception. In fact, some of the most accessible platforms like Amazon use physical assets as a strong control point. This is turn increase usage and leads to even more transaction. With creating a developer system strategy, always consider which partner application can become incorporated to decrease, which choice they can have with partner to be dedicated to creating sustainable competitive advantage. And if you move to the next slide, for example, we can see the three layers across the platform. The first one is network, marketplace, or community layer. Some platforms may have users explicitly connecting with each other. It is a social networks, and some of platforms globally have an implicit community layer. So you are benefiting from the community implicitly, but you don't explicitly connect with them. The second point is external providers or external producers. In some cases, the infrastructure layer may be very dominant. In other cases, the infrastructure layer may be thinner. The infrastructure layer essentially provides the infrastructure on top of which value can be created. For example, an Android developer builds apps on the YouTube video creator hosts videos. And the third point, which is important as layer, is data. In some cases, the data layer may be the more dominant role than the others. In other cases, the value may exclusively lie in the data layer. All platforms have these three layers, but the degree on which each dominant may have some implicit or explicit configuration that can be adapted in the schemes. Let's focus a little bit on the three differentiation layers. The first one is the network effect. It means that I'm the only person who the Facebook or in social media platform is pretty useless. But in my wife and my kids are in the same platform, already it's more useful because I can communicate with more people. So there is a lot of value for me, and this is what we call the primary network effects. By the way, for Google, it is no primary network effect. If you give me a new search engine that is better than Google, why I don't switch? Because the new website can bring probably new search engine, and perhaps they can share this revenue with me or with you. So I mean that is no primary network if somebody else come in with a better solution and better value proposition. Google is out, but it's not like Facebook. Facebook is a lot harder to dislodge, because even I develop better Facebook, unless I get everyone on my platform, this is useless. So the primary network effect, this is really only on communication where I need to talk to everyone. Airbnb or Uber are both sharing economy platform, and there are billions of dollars of valuation with a network effect. But again, they are not primary network effect. We are talking about something that we call a secondary effect. The second point that you know is data value. In this case, data plays an essential role on this integration and in the feedstock of platforms. I believe that the platform economy is a way of increasing value and organizing layered activities enabled by digital platform, information, and data. Based on the data platform, typically, we can offer personalized, timely, and optimized services to their users, and better service offering the service producers. Network orchestrator core competencies include data and analytics naturally. They often collect customer and merchant demographic data, age, sex, geography in a profile, marrying demographic data with financial behavior, financial expenses from transactions that enable Amazon, for example, to better understand both parties, consumer and merchants, and even to predict their future sales and purchase forecasts. Consumer and merchants can have two different profiles that we can complete to offer to merchants something different from the consumer. Then platform also can leverage the power of data to create community positive feedbacks and interaction. The mature platform better become a matchmaking, connecting consumer to most relevant data value. And the third one is technology. For technology, for example, we can talk about the backend technology capabilities, whether provided by individual systems or by assemblies of multiple systems that power products, as well as the enterprise more broadly. Many companies launch their digital efforts with a focus on creating and improving product throughout a standalone organization that is separate or siloed for company IT, for example. This is separately funded digital units deliver user experience innovation quickly by employing a mix of design and engineering talent using cloud technology, following agile delivery practice, and often fostering a different working culture and approach. For instance, a digital effort expand to cover more customer and employee experiences and incorporate new technology. Integration between digital and traditional technology solution requires more extensive collaboration with the market technology provider that we can call the open market. And whether one want to seek to market the technology as the data has become the engine of this global transformation of platforms, and platform requiring more openness, more innovation, and more collaboration. For the third part, we can talk about that platformization has gained a momentum over last decade following the expansion of broadband, which has enabled the connection between different business agents and UT, what are promoted the construction of most complex ecosystem to include people, things, and companies. The new analysis technology also allows the processing of large amounts of data and obtaining of information from the complexity. This technology base allows the monitoring of events and identification of patterns that present inside and orchestration of different researchers. By building platforms, company can easily connect with platforms and partner and customer, share data, could create product, create new product, complete product with another product that we don't have, combine services. That's all that we allowed by this stage of connection and platform. And it's at a stage of innovation, opening opportunities for new businesses, increasing customer participation and profit for both consumer and customer. Let's have a look about the ecosystem of the platform in the world. From the last 20 years, the 10 largest global companies in the world are now based digital communities and open marketplace that allow different groups to interact and transact with a lot of companies. Companies like Apple, Google, Amazon, Alibaba, Tencent have used the model to grow fast, very fast, and grab significant market share from traditional firms. Platform represent a big chance and big change in the way that industry have traditionally been organized, and platforms are increasingly supported by global digital technology infrastructure like API, cloud scalable networks and users and resources. It can be accessed on demand that help to scale participation and collaboration. And let's take an example just for two of the world's largest retailers, Amazon and Walmart, for example. As everyone knows, Amazon operates online and Walmart operates primarily throughout in physical distribution channel. However, the difference is that we can have a look on the maps of addressable APIs on the web. If you map those APIs, you can then look that the different places where Amazon had opened up its infrastructure to allow other participation in its ecosystem. On Walmart's API strategy side, which is more local and only between internal and limited partners, they have less ability to track data and to optimize flows between clients and logistics. The platform's perspective is only local. The market is the world. It's not. We have to open minds and to open opportunity. Asia is coming and is catching up very quickly, and we see organizations such as Tencent or Baidu or Alibaba growing up very, very quickly. Europe, on the other hand, for a variety of reasons, have even though traditional economy it's very comparable to the North America, but Europe is the beginning of the journey. There are many who will say that we aren't the same platform, just artifacts or venture capital investment leveraging. In the fact, the investors are willing to send enormous amounts of capital without ever seeing a return on the might. We have to open in Europe also some new platform in order to be sure that we can accumulate a lot of data and use these data to have personalized services for our clients. Confirming this trend, platformization has been of the main topics of the Gartner Symposium last time, one of the world leading technology and strategy events. At different times, analysis presented a technology model for platform and platform-based business strategy. According to differences between all the model, CEOs needs to evolve in their current IT environment to have flexible and event-driven data platform with a service-based architecture with API and microservices, enabling supporting the integration of legacy systems with new technology, dynamic offers, omnichannel experiences, and orchestrated action in the ecosystem. Technological platform from digital business is now what we say an enable to allow companies to create value from business ecosystem. This requires the ability to provide resources such as data, algorithms, and processes to connect new partners and new ecosystem. The most common approach to developing this offer platform services is to use API and service-oriented architecture. The modularity of this standardization provided help reduce complexity and promote agility. APIs are enable of digital platform. Why? Because APIs are more than just interfaces for the back end. They are key enabler for digital businesses. API make it possible to ensure the connection between internal services and the client application and analysis system, cloud technology, IoT devices, and external ecosystem. In addition, in the integration of internal system and between partners of APIscene, API also make possible to distribute data and services, confirm data services, develop and even driven new IT architecture, explore new business model, or create open innovation. Let's have a look for a personal. This is a great map of the open banking or open platform that we have now in different wave systems that we can see after the talk. For this example, I take a great example for an open platform, for example, for in the banking system. In the slide in front of you, this is not a fiction, but it's an operating model of banks as platform, which has already started and to take hold in the market. The open banking model at the center is evolving towards a bank as a marketplace model. It's flexible and adaptable depending on the nature of the connection and collaboration with the ecosystem. We can see that the platformization of bank appears natural. So many contracts and interaction with the ecosystem, bank companies, individual, e-tech supplier, data collection payment systems. For example, the bank has started a process of collaboration with local fintechs now to compete or to complete its system. Its product and services are more open than yesterday. Technological development linked of digital such as open architecture, API, 5G, or blockchain are new assets toward more acceleration and collaboration. For bank and financial services, for example, a strategic platform building capabilities to grow top line revenue and mandatory for next years to compare with digital native platform companies that are moving into this banking domain, like as the big tech, for example, are looking, seeing the information and the news that Google, for example, is looking for some new cars, etc. Then platform business model pioneered by technology company like Amazon and Google are having significant impact on traditional bank and asset management firms for changing the user expectation to competitive treat. These financial companies, for example, have now a lot of things that we can call a purpose of a platform, and this is my great conclusion. We can see in this scheme that the platform is to facilitate exchange of products, which is goods, services, and even social currency. A platform represents a link or a facilitator between two or more markets for group, producer, and users. Platform gives companies new opportunities by changing the nature of their interaction, which is offered by circumventing traditional business rules. In the digital platform ecosystem, technology mediates connection between actors such as people, organization, and resources, making it easy and efficient for participants to connect and to exchange value. To make this core interaction inevitable, the platform must attract users, often with heterogeneous value proposition. The core infrastructure and the set interaction of governance principles are key in this new ecosystem platform. And the platform can facilitate value co-creation with other fintechs, for example, other big tech or other startups that are looking for some niche in some products and match the most compatible users for each other. Then, even if competition with neobanks and fintech in financial sector, for example, has not really worried the banks, especially with the COVID crisis, it is the banks that have been in the forefront, or beside the client and enterprises, to work to accelerate toward digital must be maintained and to grow towards a world of platforms in which finance will have a great place in my mind. And I think that I was in the time, Mehdi.
Thank you very much, Nouamane, for this presentation. So you've been working in different banks and in the financial sector.
Yes.
So today, what some people talk sometimes about ecosystem creation. So you can be a platform business model or also be an ecosystem. Do you see a difference between these two?
Yes, there is a different. The great difference. There is two great difference. The first one is technological enabler. When we are ecosystem, where we are platform, we are providing some basic technological infrastructure that are shared with others. And when we participate to other platforms, we are only a user of other platforms. That is the great difference. And the second one is the value created. When we are platform, we can more generate value, data, and services for clients because we are in the center of the game. But when we are only participating for other ecosystem and not have any technological enabler or data, we just take a small part of the value created by this way. That is the differences between be a platform or to participate to a platform. But for me, there is no one model. We can choose to say we don't want to be a platform and to participate only to other platforms in order to complete our product or services for the other client or services. Perhaps it is a choice, but we have to do what we cannot say. We don't want to be platform and we don't want to participate to ecosystem. We have to choose because next year it will be difficult to integrate some new ecosystems. Why? Because there's a lot of competition, and when we have some platforms which are not marketplace, the first one take all. Then if you have late, perhaps that we don't have any place and we don't create value and not we have any data to generate and to adapt to our product or services. That is for me the difference between the two models.
Yeah, we have a question about like value sharing. So when you're a platform, you kind of share value at some point with your with the people who are on top of the platform. You are kind of the infrastructure where people are able to make trade. How do you define? Like the famous Apple Store, 30%. They take 30%. Some people consider it's enough. Some people consider it's too much. But what advice you would give to someone who wants to think in terms of platforms about value sharing with the community?
I don't know if I can see this as an advice, but this is the operation model that will define that. There is two things: what the value can I bring to the market, and what value can I share with the market, and what is value that I can go from the market. This is the difference. If for example, when we know, for example, we are a bank, for example, and we are a fintech. A bank has globally a lot of services which is provided. Perhaps that is one or two services are not very competitive in the market, and we'll look for another competitor that can offer this service for my clients. The sharing value depends on the service that you can offer. If this is a core service, it will be very difficult to negotiate sharing actions on that. But if there is a complementary service only, we cannot negotiate a lot. The all differences is the ecosystem that we create. If we have a lot of products and we are in the center of the game, and we can complete all my services with a lot of services, and we can have some good interaction between the ecosystem, I can change my offer and change my partner or my provider. That is the most difficult to have. What is the local services that I can play or share? If I am with Facebook, for example, it's very locked. We cannot change Facebook from the day to tomorrow. But if we are some competitive service, I can have some marketplace, and the best offer, for example, will gain. I take you an example, Mehdi. For example, if I'm not a bank, I'm a market provider, for example, for I don't know, I'm selling cars, and I'm looking for some financing for cars. I will not be connected to one bank. Perhaps I will be connected to a lot of banks, and I give the client the choice of the better rate that he can have. Then I give competition for all my ecosystem, and the better one will gain the client. I think a percentage of the transaction, it's only that I give the connection between clients and a lot of providers, and the better one we have better offer and less expensive for the client will gain the market and the connection with the client.
Yeah, thank you, Nouamane. We reach our time. Thank you for this answering these difficult questions. It was great to have you again, and again, we'll love.
Thank you very much, and see you later. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.